BlackRock is literally taking over the world. Now, I'm not saying that's a good thing, but they are giving us the exact blueprint for you to take advantage of the greatest wealth transfer in history. In today's video, I'm going to show you how BlackRock, Larry Fink, is making moves that are earth-shattering, that are going to change the financial system as you know it. The Trump family is quietly positioning themselves and is ready for this massive transition by 2030. I'm going to show you how a year ago I predicted that this was going to happen. And now here we are. The reason why I stay so stoic, the reason why I stay so calm, and if you're watching this video today on August, what is the date today? August 18th, 2025, the markets are deeply in the red. Why I love red, because that's where wealth is built. You have to understand, number one, do you know why you hold what you hold? I know why XRP is my number one holding. I know why Bitcoin is my number two holding. I'm very strategic, I'm very poised, and I'm very calm. I have an entry plan on the way down. I have a profit plan on the way up, and I have a very, very diverse portfolio that's to build kingdoms and legacy for my family. So on the back end of every video, I share with you exactly what I'm doing from truth and authenticity. So let's dive right into this video. First thing I'm going to show you is I highly recommend you go back and watch some of my older videos. This is exactly 1 year ago. Stay alert. BlackRock and Trump, 1 year ago, I told you this. Okay. He wasn't even president yet. I told you BlackRock and Trump are about to make you millionaires. Okay. To go back, I'm just telling you guys, I'm going to continue to call out what's going to happen. It's very, very easy to do this. And this is how I do it. It's called logical circuit. Okay. This is nothing new under the sun, guys. If you are emotionally triggered every single time the market goes red, your emotions are their profits. We buy when it's red. That's when we get wealthy. And we profit take when it's green. We don't wait for things to happen. We're not going to wait for potential DeFi. We're not going to wait. We're going to position now and the things that we can do, things like cash flow, taking that cash flow, putting it back into deflationary assets, things like insurance so we can leverage. We're constantly moving our money. It's currency. Okay, so this was a massive announcement right here, guys. So Cointelegraph posted this, says new BlackRock chief executive, Larry Fink, appointed interim chairs of the World Economic Forum board. Now remember, the World Economic Forum, Larry Fink sits on the board of trustees for the World Economic Forum. His mission is to move the World Economic Forum strategies forward. So here's a statement from Larry Fink and Andre Hoffman, interim co-chairs for the World Economic Forum. So let's just listen to this. Let's pay attention to what they say. Excuse me. We are honored to take on this leadership role on the interim basis at a pivotal time for the World Economic Forum. As the organization moves into a new chapter, we look ahead with clarity, purpose, and confidence in the forum's enduring mission. The world is more fragmented and complex than ever, but the need for a platform that bridges together businesses, government, and civil societies has never been greater. We believe the forum can serve as a unique catalyst for the cooperation, one that fosters trust, identified shared goals, and turns dialogue into action. We remain optimistic. The forum has an opportunity to help drive international collaboration in a way that not only generates prosperity, but distributes it more broadly. This renewed vision can promote open markets and national priorities side by side while advancing the interest of workers and stakeholders globally. We look forward to helping shape a more resilient and prosperous future, and to reinventing and strengthen the forum and its indispensable institution for public and private cooperation. The public and private sector are coming together. Well, let's take a look here. So this is BlackRock's IBIT, iShares Bitcoin Trust. So this is since their announcement of their Bitcoin ETF in 2023. Remember, Trump and Larry Fink both flipped. Trump told us 3 years ago he was getting into crypto. He came back and ran as the crypto president. He told you that cryptocurrency was used for money laundering in his last presidency, but he also told you 7 years ago in his presidency, we're going to be on an even playing field monetarily before we know it. Now here we are. He has his own DeFi platform, World Liberty Financial. They are the number one, his DeFi platform and his son's DeFi platform is the number one fastest growing stablecoin, USD1. They are about to go be tradable, World Liberty Financial Token. I believe World Liberty Financial is going to become one of the greatest DeFi platforms where you are in control. But this is BlackRock's Bitcoin trust holdings since their inception. Look at this. Look at this, guys. It just keeps climbing, keeps climbing, keeps climbing, keeps climbing. And so when Bitcoin people tell me Bitcoin's a fraud, it's like, nah, I don't think so. This was created in 2009 as, think about this. In 2009, Satoshi, some pseudonymous person, creates Bitcoin. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa work to de-dollarize and says we're going to de-dollarize from the West. And now this Bitcoin thing is being used as a dominant force in the West, specifically America, to fix a sovereign debt crisis and to make us the global superpower along with the stablecoin and the Genius Act. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? And Trump comes back and runs as a crypto capital of the world and the Bitcoin capital of the world. Remember, Larry Fink was a trusted advisor for Trump, and they both flipped their narrative in 2023. It's kind of interesting, guys. Bullish. Michael Saylor's strategy holds more BTC than 75% of the countries hold in gold. Bitcoin is the new digital gold. It's the new digital gold. That's what it is. Okay. But check this out. Strategy has more BTC than the other 99% top Bitcoin treasury companies. Okay. So why is this important? Remember, we're talking about BlackRock and Larry Fink. So if Bitcoin was a fraud and MicroStrategies was going to collapse, okay, so Larry Fink is the number one asset manager in the world, okay? Number one, let's use logic. Number one asset manager in the world. Over 11 trillion assets under management. Larger than most global GDPs. He is now the interim leader of the board for the World Economic Forum. Remember, you're going to own nothing and be happy? 95% of the supply of Bitcoin is gone. 5% is left. It's the most scarce asset in the world. Okay. So we talked about BlackRock, their domination in Bitcoin, number 2 holder in the world now. MicroStrategies is a dominant force, strategy B, in the Bitcoin space in Bitcoin treasuries. Well, if Bitcoin was a fraud and it's going to go to zero and it's going to collapse, and MicroStrategies is a Ponzi scheme, right? And look up the definition of a Ponzi scheme and understand how the mechanism is set up or what he's doing with this treasury. Guys, it's not going to collapse. Take a look at how low the leverage is and what it would need to go to for a long enough period of time to see if it was going to collapse. But if you take a look at this right here, who is the top 3 holder in strategy B, MSTR? BlackRock. Vanguard is number 1. Vanguard is number 1. BlackRock is number 3. Do you think that they might know a little bit more than us crypto influencers? Do you think that Larry Fink, who's sitting at the board of trustees and now picked as an interim leader of the board for the World Economic Forum, who is meeting with the top global leaders in the world, has a little bit more insight than crypto influencers, crypto YouTubers, TikTokers, to include myself? Think about that for just a moment. We got to use logic. Okay, so we got BlackRock, Larry Fink locked in on Bitcoin. We got Michael Saylor, Strategy B, the largest treasury dominating everybody. And BlackRock is a number 3 holder in MicroStrategies, Strategy B. Don't you think if he thought Strategy B or MicroStrategies was going to collapse, that he would make some strategic moves? Or maybe is there something bigger that we don't know about? Okay, so let's talk about the Trump family. Trump bought another 8,600,000 Ethereum and 10 million BTC. Look at this, guys. And Eric Trump keeps saying, buy the dips, buy the dips, buy the dips. Now, in the top 100 public companies for treasuries, for Bitcoin, Trump Media, they're number 8 now. Look at this. The race, okay, they went down from 6 to number 8. They're in the top 10 in the world. They're higher than Coinbase, guys. Trump's company is higher than Coinbase for their Bitcoin treasuries. This is on the World Economic Forum. It was posted on June 19, 2025. What is the protocol economy and how is it impacting the crypto world? Blockchain and tokenization can bring operational efficiency, transparency, and real-time record keeping to traditional assets management. Token economies drives decentralization, write down that word, DeFi, innovation in the protocol economy, uses a cryptocurrency to incentivize everyone along with the chain and increase network effects. Tokenization is a structural shift, much like other technology waves, such as internet and cloud computing. Okay. And I'll leave you with this, and then we'll go to exactly what I'm doing. Breaking Federal Reserve to scrap Federal Reserve program devoted to policing banks and Bitcoin and fintech companies. Okay, so here's what's happening. So the public and private sector are coming together. Trump said 7 years ago, we're going to be even playing field monetarily before you know it. Okay, I pay attention to what BlackRock's doing, what Trump family's doing, what Ray Dalio is doing, what Kathy Woods is doing, Robert Kiyosaki is doing. Okay. None of us influencers are getting insight. Nobody's reaching out to us saying what Larry Fink is doing or what these big banks are doing. This stuff is planned out well before it's announced to the public, guys. They quietly built the infrastructure, and now the narrative is changing. First, they resist it. Then they sue it. Then they regulate it. Then they join it, Draper. We are now in regulation and joining phase. And if you are price sensitive, and if things like today on this date, where the markets are red, you're panicking, you're going to get wrecked 100% of the time. The number one thing you should be asking is why you're invested in something, not what. I absolutely adore and love red days because I understand what I hold. So I focus on 4 things. Cash flow. Cash is trash. I want cash flow from businesses, cash generating dividends. Okay. I'm constantly creating cash flow with my income. Okay. Income comes in. I'm creating cash flow with my cash flow. I invest into deflationary assets that are opposite of the collapsing. Well, I would say transitioning with the Stablecoin Genius Act. It actually bought the American dollar a lot of time, right? It was a genius move. I would say a transitioning US dollar, right? But I'm not going to sit in the US dollar or any type of fiat fake system that's not backed by anything where you become poor every single year if you don't beat 2% inflation. So I transmute my cash into deflationary assets that have a fixed supply, hence things like XRP and Bitcoin. XRP is my number 1, Bitcoin's number 2. I'll go over my portfolio in just a second. Okay. Every single month I pump money into my premiums, which I consider my protection bucket, my leverage bucket, and my compounding and tax-free retirement bucket. And then number 4, I have 2 components that create a leverage. I have my Bitcoin bank, which is my deflationary assets, fixed supply, cash flow goes into deflationary assets, growing my Bitcoin bank. And I have my insurance bank. So then I have number 4, which is leverage, richest man in Babylon. Okay, so when I get paid, I richest man in Babylon. I put it into something that's deflationary that's going to grow. I create a brother or sister by profit taking, putting it into insurance. From insurance, I can use low leverage at 5% every single year to do what? To buy more cash flow or buy more deflationary assets, making my leverage bucket bigger and bigger and bigger. What happens is everybody's like, oh, let me just hold on to this and watch it go up and watch it go down. And I'm just going to, stake a little bit and earn about 4% interest. We're moving our money. We're moving, guys. We're moving. We're grooving. We got high risk dividends, de-risking out into deflationary assets. We're constantly moving. It's called currency. Okay. I take profits. I'm in the markets to be profitable. Okay. I'm in the markets to build a legacy for my family. So here's how it works. I hold Bitcoin forever. Okay. Bitcoin is leverage to me. It's a bank. I'm not going to get my biggest bang for my buck from Bitcoin, but I'm actually practicing what I preach and I'm using it to build wealth. So I use Bitcoin at low leverage to buy cash generating businesses. I bought my firm. Okay. Once it's paid off in April, I'm going to take that low leverage again. I take very low leverage and I'm going to buy more cash flow. And I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep doing that. So if Bitcoin supposedly is going to collapse and go to 0 in 10 years, along the way, I bought a bunch of cash flow. So if it went down to 0, I bought 6 or 7 cash generating businesses or dividends or whatever it is. So the next 6 years, I'm going to continue to buy cash flow. Okay. I don't believe in what people are saying. I think Bitcoin is the future gold. It's digital gold. That's what it is. Okay. Then altcoins, all other cryptos, I exit 50% on the way up by exit targets. We call them profit taking. Okay. I'm not emotional about this. My next target for XRP, of 50%. So 50% is set off to the side with Bitcoin, never touching it, legacy. Okay. And it's different. This is what's important. It's different for if you're just getting in, hold to the next bull run. There's no reason to exit. Okay. Just accumulate dollar cost average. Okay. Buy the dips to be non-emotional. You're buying the bottom of the future top, guys. Okay. I was buying Bitcoin at 25K. Now it's at 114K today. I was buying XRP at 17 cents, at 50 cents, at $2.80, at $3. I'm still buying it today, every single day. And when it comes down, I buy a little bit more. It's that simple. Okay. But when I profit take, number one thing I do is I fill my cash value life insurance bucket. Why do I do that? Richest man in Babylon. Because now I create a leverage component. After I stuff some money in the beginning of these, I now have cash that I can leverage from the insurance company, tax-free, at 5% for the year, around 5%. So if I can borrow at 5% off $100,000, that's 5% per year. Imagine if I can get a dividend that's crushing the hurdle rate and I pay it off. What happens when that's paid off? I now have free house money. Do you see what we're doing? Creating cash flow. Every single, all my cash flow that comes in, cash, I'm in deflationary assets into cash generating dividends. Cash flow comes in from the dividends, deflationary asset, profit taking. It just keeps building. It's an ecosystem that when it's built, it feeds itself. Okay, that's freedom. Now, the biggest thing is to speak from your own authenticity. That is the key to this. Okay, I hold XRP and I hold Bitcoin. I'm only going to speak from what I actually do. I'll never share with you something I'm not doing myself. Okay, I think that's very, very important. So I hope this information reaches your heart well. I'd highly recommend you go and watch that video that I posted a year ago. There's a lot of videos if you go back to 2020 where I predicted that banks are going to custody your crypto. I got made fun of, I got ridiculed, and now banks are going to custody your cryptocurrency. And here's what's about to happen. It's from 2025 to 2030, you're going to see some of the largest wealth built in our living history. But as we go into 2029, you're going to experience hyperinflation. Okay. They're going to print in lower interest rate environments and they are going to boom these markets. But what's going to happen is people are going to feel really wealthy. So they're going to buy a bunch of shit. They're not going to build an empire. They're not going to invest in like cash value life insurance. They're not going to invest in cash flow. They're not going to invest in securing their family. What they're going to do is they're going to buy Lambos. They're going to buy bigger houses. They're going to buy stuff. Okay. If you ever see me purchasing a liability, I actually have something very cool to show you guys because I've been very disciplined as I have a liability that I'm about to get that was paid for by assets. It just takes patience. It just takes persistence. It just takes focusing on making sure your family is secured first. Once your family is secured, and only when your family is secured, do you buy the stuff that you want. And then you buy it with OPM, other people's money. That's how a legacy is built. I love you guys. I appreciate you. As we always say, warriors, rise, get your shit together. God bless.